partnerships here, there it goes, here at Digital Marketing Institute. And I'm just going to show you a few slides, basically walk you through the skills demand in digital marketing and how our certifications work and overall the opportunities that we have.
And good evening, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick introduction. I'm Chris Cicio. I'm the Director of Continuing Education here at Penn State Abington. Our CE department offers professional development programs, custom training for organizations, and youth and community programs. And like Maria said, we are so pleased to be here to talk about our digital marketing professional certificate program that we offer in conjunction with our partners at Digital Marketing Institute. In addition to the dual certification that Maria is going to be talking about tonight that you would receive at the end of your program, you would also receive a certificate of completion from Penn State. And that's what makes this program a bit unique to take it through us. And Maria introduced herself, but I am so honored to turn the program over to Maria, who oversees university partnerships at Digital Marketing Institute. She'll be going over more of an in-depth overview of the program, and we'll leave some time at the end for any additional questions or Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or the Q&A. We'll be monitoring that this evening. And again, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Christine. So today's agenda will be, not too quick, but I do want to answer those questions, but most importantly, cover what the certification is and, what it looks like, the opportunities in digital marketing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who Digital Marketing Institute is, the global skills gap, the professional certification, and some alumni stories. And like Christine said, some questions at the end. So who are we? The DMI Digital Marketing Institute, we are a global certification body here in the industry. As of June 2022, we have over 200,000 members as our membership, which I'll go over. We work with over 40 leading brands in DM. So you see Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, those are just some of the brands that we work with. Overall, we set the standard when it comes to digital marketing education and certifications. And how we do that is by our industry leaders. They validate all of our courses and certifications, syllabuses, come up with our frameworks, and I'll go into who those members are. So the Global Industry Advisory Council is a unique panel. Basically, these are individuals who are already in the industry. So they basically set the standards, and here are some of the individuals that we work with. We have Amy Brooks, she's from Facebook. She is the business education director. You see people from Microsoft, Google, as well as LinkedIn. And we do have some really great digital marketing influencers as well. Not sure if you are familiar with Neil Patel, but he is one of our members. Fairly popular. So we're very proud with that. And he actually came out with updating our search marketing program. So that's something new. These are our global industry advisories. So we meet with them roughly twice a year. So every 6 months. So if there's any type of updates or I believe the latest update that we did do was here in March. So we do, as you know, digital marketing is constantly changing. So staying on top of that is important to us. So even if it's one thing, I think in this example, social media marketing, TikTok is fairly newer to us. So that's something we have added. We didn't have that in the past certificate program. So, we do have our Global Industry Advisor Council that give us all these new techniques, updates, all that. So the global skills gap, this is where it's important to you, especially if you're wanting, or if you're trying to upskill or get into a digital marketing role or digital marketing industry. So we worked with Economist Group. We found the hardest areas to recruit were, I'll just name the top 3, data and analytics, customer experience, strategy, planning, and brand management. Those are harder to recruit. As you can see here, we have search marketing, social media marketing, content marketing. You can see the percentage, how they drop. But overall, this is just a great study. It was very interesting for us. So the global digital skills gap, supply does not meet demand in any country. So 9% of companies rate their marketing department as strong, not as strong in all of the aspects of marketing. And 77% of companies believe that the lack of digital skills is the #1 obstacle in their ability to digitally transform in today's world. As you know, we're all very digitally savvy. Everyone has a phone now. Everyone knows how to search. So individually, we are becoming more savvy as, you know, everyone. So companies are having to stay up to date with that and hire those individuals that can do these types of work. So after the presentation, I'm going to go through what the actual platform looks like and our membership platform as well. So I'll just kind of walk you through our DMI Pro program, CDMP, which was Christine that she was mentioning that Penn State offers. So currently we are on our 9.1 version. We update that every 6 months, like I mentioned. I'm going to go walk you through each module. So we have Introduction to Digital Marketing, Content Marketing, Social Media Marketing, Search Engine Optimization, Paid Search with Google Ads, YouTube and display advertising, email marketing, website optimization, analytics with Google Analytics, and overall, to wrap that up, digital marketing strategy. So if there's basically, you're going to become a well-rounded digital marketer. And what you'll learn is with each one, obviously increasing your website's visibility through search engine optimization technique is important. We have up to measure and optimize how your social media campaigns, overall how to drive qualified traffic to your website using pay-per-click advertising, so with budgeting. So these are what the modules look like, 10 modules, roughly 30 hours. Each module is, I'd say, 3 to 4 hours, and it's all at your own pace. We do give you 24 weeks to complete, then you would take your assessment. So how the assessment's done is through our Pearson VUE centers or Pearson VUE online. We do offer remote proctoring if you can't make it to one of these test centers. This is the global standard of testing. So once you complete the assessment, you will get that dual certification. We are endorsed by the American Marketing Association. So you'd have that certified, recognized by employers across the globe, 3-hour exam. Roughly 3-hour exam. There's approximately 200 questions and there are multiple choice questions. Each category will have roughly 20 questions from the actual program. Results will be printed, available to the students' online testing. So you would have access to print this out, show these to employers, share it on LinkedIn. It basically break down how you did overall in the test. And I will show you the example of that as well. The student can take the exam up to 3 times. I believe the first time is included once you sign up with Penn State, but you do have those other 2 times. It's a 60% higher to get that certification. So not only do you get access to our program, once you are signed up and registered through with the CDMP Pro, you do have access to our digital marketing membership. Now, this is a great tool overall. We do update this with new trending articles 2 to 3 times a week. And these articles are written by our global advisory group that I mentioned. There's videos, there are podcasts, there's articles, there's actual lots of workshops, different types of courses, and I'll walk you through that as well. This is just an example, but great case studies, tons of good webinars. Like I mentioned, podcasts. We do have some live webinars that you would be invited to as well that you can sign up. And the most important, there is a Career Center page. So in the Career Center page, there is articles on resumes, there's articles on how to interview for these roles, what managers are looking for. If you're not really sure what area in digital marketing you're wanting to go into, those are great areas to go into because it talks about what an SEO manager does, what a social media manager does, and so forth. So some success stories. Not only does DMI work with universities, like Christine mentioned, we work with Penn State, but we also work with companies. So a lot of these companies, as you can see, they're bigger time companies, they do partner with us so we can train their actual staff with our certifications. There are different programs with companies as well. So you have IBM, SAP, Microsoft. These are pretty well-known big companies, and they are types of companies that are looking for these types of certifications. They really want to know that the person that they are hiring for their, let's say, social media role knows how to set up a campaign or so forth. So they do these type of interviews. So that's a great benefit as well. So the certification features and benefits, 8 out of 10, these are what I believe this happened a couple, 3 months ago. We went out after some of our certification, some of our graduates, and we did a survey. 8 out of 10 alumni reported promotion within those 12 months. 94% are full employment, 88% work in senior management roles, and 56% earn more than $52K per alum annual. So we have one of our alumni, she gave us this review. The reason she did this program was because she got to learn from individuals in these type of roles. So in the program itself, you do have industry leaders actually talking to you and explaining to you these roles. So they are teaching each course. So she now works at HubSpot. So Twitter, this one's a great success story because Devin, this is in Ireland. Twitter, basically, Dublin is the Silicon Valley in Europe. So it's very hard to get roles there, period. So after he completed his role, he actually got a job in Twitter as a digital marketing operations specialist. He took our course. This is one of our more successful alumni, just because we know how hard it is to get into these roles in Silicon Valley. So basically San Francisco, but in Dublin. So he completed the course. He did get that position. So these are some of these success stories. So let me back up here and jump into our courses. So this is what your platform will look like. You can see here, let me just jump into one of these completely on your own time, those 24 weeks to complete this. You'll have a video playing once you get into the module. Let me pause this. Then you can see here, it's broken into multi videos and lessons. So you'll have a summary and a quiz after each course. So it's great stuff. You can do one at, if you want to do 7 and 8 for that night and then continue 9 and 10 for the next day. It's really great way to complete the program, and it's pretty practical, like pretty easy, not easy, but it's not challenging. It's really, you can go back and forth. With each module, you have study notes, really good resources, some study notes, module transcripts, module slides, study schedule, if you would want something like that, practical exercise and solution, and some bonus content that will drive you to the webinar, to the membership, and you can read more about the person that is speaking through each module. So this is what you'll have access to is our membership platform. Like I said, we update this every 2 to 3 weeks with new articles. You'll have micro lessons, skills tests. So the skills test is important. Before you take the actual assessment, you can do a mini skills test, and it'll give you, I believe it's an hour. And this is a good study program, a way to study your assessment, toolkits, webinars, ebooks, and some more podcast video and glossary. Let me go back in here. The Career Center, I believe it's the most important, especially if you're transitioning to, career change, if you're not sure where you want to go as far as the digital marketing roles. There's different things like questions, different articles, skills in industry, technology. If you can see here, there's a way you can, there's actually a really good, I believe here, the value of a digital marketing certification. So there's great articles overall, and there's a way, there's an article in here on how to set up your CV. So just things like that I feel are very important, especially if you're trying to transition and you're not sure exactly where you want to transition to. Again, you can go into articles in here and toolkits and practice some of these, some of these actual frameworks that you're going to learn from the program itself. So there's tons of toolkits, content calendars. This would be used for a social media manager. As you can see here, these are downloadable. So you would have that access to the membership. Now, if you have any questions, me and Christina.
Marie, I do have a quick question. I think that the Career Center is awesome. Are there job postings as well in addition to the resources?
There's jobs posting as well. I don't get to see it because I'm not a student, but there's job postings on here.
Okay, that's
it's all
great.
related to where your location is at.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, but the Career Center, it is a great, probably the best. What we've gone back to, a lot of the students do tell us it's been very helpful.
Okay, perfect. Oh, thank you. Then thank you so much for sharing these information with us. I always feel like I learned something new. One of the things that stood out to me was that 80% of alumni receive a promotion with it within 12 months. I think that that's really indicative of the value of the program. I do have another question that has been asked previously.
Okay.
For somebody that might not have previous digital marketing experience, is this challenging to pivot into as a new career, or would you consider the certification as sort of that stepping stone that might help somebody pivot into this career?
Definitely a stepping stone for sure. They don't have to have that knowledge behind it or digital marketing. It's definitely a great stepping stone because, as you know, we do have more specialized certifications. So those are a little more tougher. So if it's someone that has been in the search marketing industry for quite some time and they wanted to upskill, we do have those focused certifications out as well. The CDMP is perfect for anyone that's entering or just wants to upskill, or they just want to have a certification and just show off what they already know. But we do have levels of certification, obviously. There's expert and we have our more specialized ones that are a little tougher. But at CDMP, I would definitely say, agree with you on that.
Perfect. And Maria, can you talk a little bit about the dual certification portion of this?
So we partnered with American Marketing Association in 2017. Basically, they endorse all our digital marketing programs. So what that looks for the student getting the certification, American Marketing Association is a very well-known brand here in the US. So having that dual certification, it's basically 2 stamps, and having Penn State as well on the certification. That's 3, but it's just American Marketing Association. If you're not familiar with who these, I'm not sure if they know too much. I know these would probably be newer students, but it's just individuals that are in marketing that come together. There's chapters in different states, but overall, they're all marketers, digital marketers that come together community-wise, and they found our program to basically stamp it and they endorse it. I know they used to have their own program at a point. Once we were in partnership, they removed that program and said we were the digital marketing certification standard. Mm-hmm.
Great. And do students receive like a paper certificate from you or a digital badge?
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
I'm going to show you. Completely forgot about this, but
Great,
yes. So
thank
once
you.
you pass the assessment, you would get a certification. This is what the certification would look like. It can't be copied. It's through credential.net. So you can send this to an employer. They can verify your credentials, which is important. It's definitely employability focused. The great thing about this, you can get your own transcript and see how well you did on each category. So if you're going to try to get into, let's say, a role that's social media marketing, having this as your strongest is gonna, benefit. So, content and social media marketing, 86. This is just an example, but you do get the transcripts. You can print it. You can also share it on your social channels. You have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, email it, like I mentioned, and this is what it would look like. Digital and American Marketing Association with the Penn State logo as well.
Thank you. That's great. I think one of the great things about this too is that it shows the skills that students learn during the program. We hear a lot about employers looking for skills-based employment, and they're looking for skills-based learning. So to be able to show that so easily to employers, I think is really helpful too.
Yeah, and when it comes to interviewing, most of the time employees, depending on which roles you're getting into, they do basically ask you to set up a campaign and how you would do it, your mindset around it, what strategy are you using. So it's not so much as a face-to-face type of conversation. I have actually had a computer pulled out and how would you do this strategy? You have this much for budget. You have this, let me see your thinking. So I took the program myself. And before this role, I was working in digital marketing as a strategist for 2 different companies. So my last 2 roles.
And one of the things with resumes right now too is a push to make them more skills based too. So it's great if you can actually, be able to formulate exactly what types of skills you've learned through this education and this certificate program too.
Yes, 1,000%. It is skill-based. Now employers they see your resume, but they're asking you too, well, how would you do this? Set up a social media campaign. What's your thinking? They're getting savvy too, because it is newer. So yeah, so definitely. And that's where the Career Center, I think, really helps with having those toolkits and, the setup of your CV and what that should look like for basically each role you're trying to get into. Great articles too, if the student's not sure which direction they want to go to, if they want to be an SEO manager or a PPC manager. Those are two different things. One, you're constantly optimizing on the website, and then you have your PPC management, and now you're working with budgets and money, and that's basically all Google. And as you know, Google is constantly changing their algorithms. They have over 2,000 changes a year. So those are things that, we do importantly try to update, because it does change. There's different, Google sets up different parameters on what they want a website to be on the back end and the front end. So there's just a lot behind the scene.
Maria, one of the things that comes up a lot with some of our Penn State Abington students is that they haven't been in a classroom or a virtual classroom in a long time. Do you provide tech support or anything to students as they're going through this program if they have questions?
Yes, good question. In the Career Center, you do have your own support. We do have tutors, and sometimes we do have questions that have already been answered, so the student would have access to that. But they do have their tutors as well if they have any.
Oh, perfect. That's great to know. And we do have another question that came in. If you could speak a little bit more to this, how current and up to date are the lessons that are provided from the professionals involved in the modules?
The actual each module presentation, or?
Yes.
So we just updated this one in March. It's our 9.1.
Okay.
So the next change won't be, well, we have like a newer change, and it's just been announced. Our search marketing module, Neil Patel and his team did basically completely ramped up our search marketing. So that's something that's in the works to change. And that's probably not going to happen until the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay. So quite often though, if you're updating every few months.
Yeah.
And keeping up with the current trends based on your advisory on the advisory council.
Absolutely. Yeah. So sometimes we'll have the same speaker on. Right. So if it's like the SEO person that spoke for that specific module, we'll just give him updates, and it's him again, or we'll change the presenter every time. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that question. And I'll open it back up to our participants. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat so we can answer them. And if not, what I am going to do is I am going to drop my email in the chat. So if anybody has additional questions, you can please feel free to reach out to us. And I believe that my colleague mentioned this in an email communication, but joining this webinar, you are eligible for 10% off of the registration fee when you register through us at Penn State. And I also wanted to just mention that this is part of our Fresh Start Career Series, Career Exploration in 2022. And one of our next sessions is tips to navigate the modern job search on June 23rd. So if that is also something that you're interested in, it's another free session that we're having as part of our Career Advisement, Career Development Series. But otherwise, thank you to everybody for attending, and especially thank you to Maria for joining us this evening to talk to us more about the certification and the value of it.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. It was fun.
Thank you. It was.